All right, good morning again, everybody. I am going to actually give a very brief bio of our amazing speaker today, Porter Hardy IV, surfer, golfer, president, and co-founder of Smartmouth. He's from Virginia Beach, attended Norfolk Academy, went to Vanderbilt College, and then lived in Richmond, where he went to Washington Lee Law School, was a lawyer from 2004 to 2012, and then decided to become a smart mouth. Okay. He actually has a wonderful family and wife and a son in 5th grade and a daughter, right? Porter in 3rd grade. He now lives in Norfolk, and he is actually here today to talk to us about what's brewing. Everyone, please welcome.
First of all, let me say thank you all for having me here today. I really appreciate it. It's always an honor to come, and always an unexpected pleasure that people want to hear me talk. So I have to leave home for that. So I'll try and first give you all a little brief history of Smartmouth and where we are and kind of what we're thinking and what we are. Just a little introduction, and then there always seems to be lots of questions whenever I do these, and I'm actually better with the question give and take, so I'll try and allow a few minutes for questions at the end. So, as you heard, I'm from here, and then went away, and then came back to work for a firm called Kaufman and Knowles in downtown Norfolk, and worked there for about 4 years, and then worked at a concrete company called Titan America for about 4 years, and as an in-house counsel. Fortunately or unfortunately, one of those tipping points in life is I graduated law school, my wife was pregnant, we were buying our first house together, so not much going on. And, right, studying for the bar, wife turns out she's pregnant, and buying a new house, starting a new job. Just bought a dog too, that's right. So my wife buys me a homebrew kit. I had done a semester in Germany when we were in law school, and just kind of gotten into beer, and I like science, and I like to cook, and to me brewing turned out to be kind of that perfect blend of geekiness and creativity. So I don't think she knew what she started when she did that, right? So it started homebrewing in 2004. It evolved. I think her original goal, by the way, was to get me off of the golf course and at home a little bit more now that we had kids and everything. And so we started homebrewing. As I said, just started reading about it, started brewing on a more regular basis, and it became a principal passion, a principal hobby. At some point, I realized that being a lawyer wasn't for me long term. I was a contract lawyer, and I liked it fine. I really enjoyed helping people start up their own businesses. When I was at Titan, I really enjoyed helping them buy and sell businesses, do real estate deals. And I just kept thinking, why not me? Why can't I be the guy on the other side of this table? Why can't I go figure out what I want to do with my life and do it? So instead of helping people start businesses, I started my own. And that started in 2012. It took about 2 years of planning. I'm a very methodical kind of guy, so about a year putting the business plan together, about a year get the investors. Even though I could make beer at home, I knew that I would not be able to successfully run the size brewery I wanted if I was doing the brewing. I equate it sometimes to you can make cookies, it doesn't mean you can run a bakery, right? You make cookies at home. Running a bakery is a totally different animal. So I hired a guy named Greg Papp, who had been brewing professionally for 10 years when I found him in places like Victory, Lagunitas, Shipyard. I equate it to finding the offensive coordinator who wants to be a head coach, right? So he was making 90% of the beer somewhere else, and I kind of brought him in and gave him some freedom. Found the place in Norfolk. We were talking about the water in Norfolk earlier. That was actually one of the deciding factors. Was water has excellent brewing water. There's almost no mineral content in it. It's very soft, so we can turn around and add salts to it to match. So if we want to say, hey, we want to make a London style beer, we can add gypsum and chalk and various things to it. If we want to add, make a Czechoslovakian or German style beer, we can geek out the water chemistry because it's basically a blank slate. In fact, when I signed my lease, I made a contingent of the lease that I sent a water sample off to a lab in California, and it came back with the same results as what we were getting from the city. And I also want to make sure there wasn't a big lead pipe or something. So that's, I guess, fast forward to about 2012, and there's a can on each of your tables. We didn't start canning until 2014, by the way. So opened 2012 November, opened the tasting room, sold our first keg. So we have a tasting room. Anybody's welcome to come to the brewery Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays from 4:30 to 8, and then noon to 12 on Saturdays. So Saturdays we give free tours. This Saturday I'm actually giving tours at 2 and 3. It's our Jerry Garcia's birthday. We have a couple deadheads who work there. So it's Jerry Garcia's birthday, and we released a special beer with toasted hemp seeds in it, and we have a bread cooked. So Saturday will be a big day. If you've never been, if you want a big day, it's a fun day. If you want a quieter experience, come big.
Free samples?
No, there are no free. Well, you get like 2 ounces if you don't know what you want. We'll give you like a little shot or something. But what most new people do is they come in and they get a flight. So it's 5 ounces of each beer. 5 ounces each, eight beers. And I think it's $12. So when we first came out, we thought, what beer do we make? How do we differentiate ourselves? First of all, we wanted to differentiate ourselves on quality. Everybody says that, right? But how do you go about doing that? Part of it was investing to hire a guy who knew what he was doing. Part of it was dreaming big, buying big equipment. When we bought our brew house, we were instantly the second largest brewery in Hampton Roads by production capacity of your brew house. O'Connor has since passed us on, which is great. And then in various other ways, we age our beer a little bit longer than some other people to make sure it cleans up. Anyway, so outside of quality, how do you differentiate yourselves? How do you not be the macro brew that makes one beer for everybody? So we decided to make, beer has 4 main ingredients: water, which we've talked about, hops, malt, and yeast. So if you look, the white can in front of you all is Alter Ego. It's a Belgian farmhouse style beer called a Saison. And if you look on it, there's like a tie from back when I was a lawyer. We try and make them kind of funny. I call them the cereal box effect. But there's also yeast cells. Most of the flavor in that beer comes from the yeast. So fermentation, what happens is yeast eat the sugar and turn it into alcohol and carbon dioxide and other trace elements. But this particular yeast kicks out like some spicy, peppery flavors and some fruity flavors, kind of orangey or tangerine, depending on what you think. So that's a beer that wasn't made very often when we opened it. It was kind of a bold thing to come out with, but it was one of my favorite styles, and I just kind of said, screw it, start my own company. Make the beer I want to make. And it's turned out to be our best-selling beer. It goes really well with food. And anyway, so that's Alter Ego. Second beer there is the Gray Can, which is Murphy's Law. So named for all the stuff that broke when we opened. I illogically figured we'd buy this used brewing system that was up and working perfectly well in Pennsylvania, move it down here, hook it up, and it would work. Not the case. The first 2 batches went down the drain. It was that beer. We didn't have a name for that beer. Now we do. Yeah. Coincidentally, my dog is named Murphy, so if you see a little dog on there, that's my dog. So that beer emphasizes the malt flavors in beer. So we use some toasted and roasted malts, kind of got a low hop profile. But that's kind of the crowd pleaser beer. I say if you're not sure what you want, try Murphy's Law. Frankly, for some people it's their #1 beer. For most people in the brewery, that turns out to be like the beer that's everybody's second favorite beer. A lot of people like Alter Ego. And then thirdly, is the staff favorite, Rule G, which is the green can, which emphasizes hop flavor in beer. So unless you're ready for a bunch of grapefruit and bitterness, that's your beer. Like I said, it's the brewer's favorite beer. They're always tweaking that beer a little bit to try and get it where they want. If you look on that can, there's some hop molecules and equations on calculating the bitterness and alcohol in beer. That beer is so named because I said I'm co-founder. The first investor I found is a guy named Chris Nykirk, who is the other person on the board of managers with me, and his wife works at the brewery. He works at Norfolk Southern, and he comes from a Norfolk Southern railway family. Great guy. I don't know where we'd be without him. Rule G is the railroad's national prohibition against drinking on the job. So we spike that every day with that beer. Because every day at the end of the shift, everybody you got to clock out, and then everybody gets 2 shift beers, and everybody gets a weekly per hour. And the train tracks. If you've ever been to the brewery, the train tracks dead end into the tasting room. There's some old disused train tracks, and then Norfolk Southern. I look out my window, and the fence is that far in my office. So that's kind of a shout out to some of our railroad. Yes. I don't mean to hurry it up too much, but I'm trying to leave some time for questions. It's about 8:20 something. So hopefully that's a logical place to end my prepared remarks, with is explaining why I left all these cans on here. You're welcome to taste them now if you want, or you can figure out a way to divvy them up, but I don't care if I take them back, by the way. I can go into why we chose canning. I can explain why we picked the names for various things, where we're going, where we've been, small business challenges. But if I just do questions, it lets me address what you would like here. Yes, sir.
Anheuser-Busch recently came out with a sales report saying you guys, your industry,
Yes.
their sales are way off. All they contribute to is more and more people like yourself getting in the beer business.
Mm-hmm.
And I compliment you. I'm not a particular beer drinker, but I'm fascinated about what you got. Where are you? And where going to buy your beer?
Warpacks.
That's true. We are in Warpacks. We have draft line, Murphy's Law, and Warpacks. Beer's broken up into draft and package, or in our case, cans is our package. So draft-wise, you can find us. Honestly, most restaurants around town. A lot of restaurants around town. Certainly in Ghent, if you go down to 21st Street or Colley Avenue, that's probably our biggest concentration. You can find us, I believe, at the West End of Town Center, McCormick and Schmick's, P.F. Chang's, Smoky Bones. Those are all Town Center. Whiskey Kitchen, Fire Brew, the Hilton on 31st Street, Waterman's, Chicks, CP Shuckers. So all kinds of places you can find us on draft. And then in cans, we're in about 50 7-Elevens. We just got in Target, which is great. We're in Harris Teeter's. Harris Teeter's has been a little bit of a struggle. So the deal with grocery stores, and I didn't know this, I'm going off on a tangent, but most people find this interesting. Grocery stores set their shelves once, maybe twice a year. They do a big spring reset, and sometimes they do a little one in October. So you've got to submit your stuff in like September to get in the May reset. So we released cans in May or June, and we weren't really sure we'd have enough. And frankly, we didn't have enough. Some grocery stores are more flexible, like we managed to get in Farm Fresh right off the bat. Harris Teeter's a little bit longer process. There's one guy who sits down in Raleigh and decides every Harris Teeter beer shelf. Kroger, there's one guy in Cincinnati who draws every Kroger shelf in the country.
Wow.
So if I go out to Suffolk and I'm trying to get that manager to carry me, he has very little authority to change anything. He can help me with the hot shelf space, and you can try and get your distributor to pull out one of their existing brands and put your brand in. But grocery store shelf space is a little bit of a struggle. Anyway, so Farm Fresh, Total Wine, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, 7-Elevens, Harris Teeter. We're now in the one Colonial, we're in the one on Oceanfront, Greenbrier, Hanbury. So trying to get it out there more and more. Yes, sir.
I know you team with Kevin Connor for Tree Again.
Yes.
And Dick talked about regionalism. What else do you have in the works for other regional breweries to team up with them to do something special? Can you tell us?
Yeah, you know, we don't have anything exactly planned. We've talked with Young Vets maybe about doing something with them. Frankly, all of us are trying to make our own beer, and we're all pretty busy. And it is funny. It's unlike, say, the concrete industry. We all do get along.
Is that after shift?
Right, yeah. Like in August, there's this Virginia Craft Brewers Cup, and we'll all camp and have a couple of drinks together, and there's a big festival at the base of Devil's Backbone, and they give out awards. You know, we enter our beers into a contest, plus we have booze, and it's kind of a big thing, and we all have a good time together. But we all are also busy running our own businesses, so sometimes it's hard to get the collaboration thing together. Kevin approached me about the one we did with them, which was excellent. So short answer, we don't have anything planned. You'll see us at a bunch of different festivals and stuff together. ABC just passed a rule that would allow us to plan our own festival without the distributors, which maybe we'll work on something like that. I honestly haven't even talked to Kevin. Yes, sir. Thank you.
You can purchase an alcohol-free champagne. Have
Okay.
you ever given thought to an alcohol-free beer?
Well, yeah, there's like O'Doul's and stuff. Frankly, we have never thought about that because we don't have the capacity. I've thought about maybe trying to do a gluten-free beer. But the science behind stripping the alcohol out of the beer, you'd need a huge factory and millions of dollars in investment. It's not a natural process, versus like what we do is the same thing that Germans and Czechoslovakians and Irish and whatever, even Egyptians have been doing for hundreds of years. We just do it more scientifically and more measured and more sterile. But we kind of let the biology do what it does, and yeast make alcohol, and trying to strip it back out is pretty hard. Yes, sir.
One of the things that we're working on as a club is putting together a winter beer fest.
Okay.
Everybody's been doing lots of spring and summer, and we'd love to have Smartmouth participate in that and feature some of porters, stouts, some of those heavier winter beers. So I look forward to talking to you about that.
Yeah,
as we move
please
forward
do.
on that.
Yeah, and for something like that, it's always, if you get Hoffman Beverage, which
Yeah, right
right
there.
there. On board they have, they can help with logistics, and they have us, they have O'Connor, they have Young Vets, they have St. George, they have Williamsburg Ale Works. They have every local brewery except for Peach. We're also about to can our milk stout come September. So that. Yes, sir.
You mentioned Hoffman. Is Hoffman your distributor?
Yes. So by law, we can't sell directly to a restaurant or a grocery store. We have to sell to a distributor who then sells back out, and we can have one distributor per geographic area.
One last question, Joe.
No pun intended, but can you address the fluctuating cost of your cans versus the price that you have to charge?
Fluctuating cost of the can itself.
The can itself, yeah. Is that a fluctuating situation?
Honestly, our price hasn't really fluctuated on cans. It's about $8,000 an order, 7 to 8, so maybe it's adjusted $100 one way or the other, but it hasn't affected our pricing.
You extrude your own cans?
What?
You extrude your own cans?
No, we don't extrude our own cans. We get our cans from Crown. We fill them. We have a canning machine, and we fill them ourselves. But no, we get them from Crown in South Carolina.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. I'll stick around for a minute if anybody has anything.
We missed one major question. Where's the name of the brewery come from?
So the short answer to that is it's really hard to come up with brewery names. There's huge trademark battles going on. And we had 4 people who had decided on the name. I was driving home from my job at Titan one day. Kathy Griffin, the comedian, comes on the old comedy channel. It's not around anymore. And starts talking about how her mom called her a Smartmouth. And I had this epiphany, because I didn't want a name named for me. And I didn't want a name tied to a geographic location. I wanted something modern and funny and clever. I said, oh, Smartmouth, that's perfect. That'll let us kind of embrace the fun aspect of beer and be clever, and it means like drink intelligently, have a good palate.
Lawyer background, Smartmouth?
Yeah, exactly. I also say, I always tease it's named for my daughter.
There are a couple of things we need to do. If you have a check to submit to the club, please see Channing. He's standing in for Trish, and she's out of town.
Check for what?
Whatever, dues. Dues. Checks to the club, see Channing, he'll take care of you. I asked Dick and Jim Orlando to help with what we accumulated, and I asked that Scotty, Shamir, and Yong join us. I motioned to Dick, can you get them in here? And Dick, would you share what you've
Well,
seen?
I think each one of us, as you're leaving, if you can find them, they're sort of spread here, there, and everywhere, getting ready for some pamphlets. But it's emotional for them as well as for us. I will say that much. But give them a hug. Tell them how much you appreciate it.
What I wanted to say with them here was our mantra is service above self. And without being Rotarians, they did that in spades. They also lived up to that four-way test with all the various things we asked of them, and they gave it to us generously with a smile. What I intend to do is give each one of them an envelope which evenly distributed what we gave, and a four-way test cup. And Porter,
Yes,
I'd
sir.
like to present you a four-way
Oh,
test cup.
thank you very much. I
You're going to
appreciate
need
it.
this hand.
Okay.
Now you read the last three digits.
Okay, 473.
Bingo!
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Board meeting immediately following this. We got